Most of us see our bank account as just a place to keep our money safe, right? But what if I told you it could be an engine for earning? What if your bank could actually start paying you a steady income? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down today. This is your simple guide to making your bank in India pay you. All right, let's get into it. So let's start with the big question on everyone's mind. Can your bank account really be more than just a holding tank for your salary? Can it actually generate a real, tangible monthly income for you?
And the answer is a definite yes. It's absolutely possible. But, and this is a big but, let's get one thing straight from the get-go. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is all about building a system for safe, steady, predictable returns. And that means you need some capital to start with, and you gotta have realistic expectations.
Okay, let's kick things off with the safest bets on the table. We're talking about the options that give you predictable, secure returns, without the wild roller coaster ride you get with the stock market.
First up, we have the absolute classic, the OG of safe investing in India, the fixed deposit, or FD. You can think of it as the foundation of your financial house. You simply park a chunk of money for a fixed amount of time, and in return, the bank guarantees you a specific interest rate. It's simple, it's predictable, and it's rock solid.
And hey, don't let the word safe fool you into thinking the returns are boring, because they can be seriously good. Right now, some banks are offering up to 7.75% per year. And what's really cool is that senior citizens often get an extra 0.5% on top of that, which, believe me, really adds up over time.
So what does that percentage actually look like in your bank account? Let's make it real. If you invest 10 lakh rupees at a pretty solid 7.5%, that's going to generate about 75,000 rupees for you in a year. And if you break that down, you're looking at a steady income of around 6,250 rupees hitting your account every single month.
Now, if you want to become a real FD pro, you gotta know these tips. First, the sweet spot for the best rates is usually between 1 and 3 years. Second, look into a technique called FD laddering. Instead of one huge FD, you split your money into a few smaller ones that mature at different times. Why do that? Well, it means you've always got some cash freeing up, so you have access to your money without having to break the whole deposit. Also, don't just look at the big banks. Sometimes scheduled or small finance banks offer even better rates. And this is super important, so listen up. The interest you earn is taxable. Don't forget that part.
All right, so FDs are fantastic for a lump sum payout at the end. But what if you need that regular, predictable cash flow, like a monthly paycheck from your savings? For that, we turn to our next tool, the Monthly Income Scheme, or MIS. I mean, the name says it all. It's designed from the ground up to pay you interest every single month.
The MIS is currently offering around 7.4% a year, with that interest paid out to you monthly. The huge pro here, especially if you go with the post office version, is that it's backed by the government. It doesn't get much more secure than that. Now, the main catch you need to be aware of, your money is locked in for a 5-year period, so it's a bit of a commitment.
So far, we've been talking about locking money away to make it earn. But what about all that cash just sitting in your savings account? The money for your daily expenses, your emergency fund? Let's talk about how to make that so-called idle money get up and work a whole lot harder.
You might not think it matters, but the difference between a regular and a high-interest savings account is just wow. Look at this. If you leave 1 lakh rupees in a regular account earning 3%, you might make 3,000 rupees in a year. Not bad, but by simply moving that same money to a high-interest account offering 7%, you could earn 7,000 rupees. You've literally more than doubled your return without taking on any extra risk. All you did was choose a better account.
This, right here, is the absolute perfect home for your emergency fund. The whole point of an emergency fund is that your money is liquid. It's easy to get to, but that doesn't mean it has to sit there earning practically nothing while it's waiting for an emergency. Make it earn. Okay, you ready to level up? We're now moving into some of the smarter strategies that can automate your savings and, this is a big one, help you save a ton on taxes. So, let me introduce you to one of the most brilliant tools out there, the Sweep In FD. It's basically an automatic, intelligent link between your savings account and a fixed deposit. Here's how it works. Once your savings account balance goes over a certain limit that you set, the extra cash is automatically swept into an FD where it earns way higher interest. But what if you need the money? No problem. You can take it out just like you normally would. It's seriously the best of both worlds. You get the high returns of an FD with the easy access of a savings account.
Now for saving tax, you've really got two heavyweights in the ring: the Public Provident Fund, the PPF, and the tax-saving FD. The PPF is a real powerhouse, offering a 7.1% return that is completely 100% tax-free. The catch? It's a long-term game with a 15-year lock-in. On the other hand, the tax-saving FD has a much shorter 5-year lock-in, and it still gives you that important tax deduction under Section 80C, but the interest you earn is taxable. So the choice really just depends on your goal. Are you building long-term tax-free wealth with the PPF, or do you need a quicker tax deduction right now with the tax-saving FD?
All right, we've looked at some amazing tools. But before you get too excited and run off to your bank, we need to pause. It's time for a reality check. And honestly, this might be the most important part of this whole conversation.
Let's talk about the cold, hard numbers. To generate just 5,000 rupees a month, even at a great rate of 7.5%, you're going to need about 8 lakh rupees in capital. Want to make 10,000 a month? You'll need to double that to 16 lakh. And if you're aiming for 25,000 rupees a month, you need a whopping 40 lakh rupees saved up. The numbers don't lie. To get a meaningful income this way, you need a pretty significant amount of capital to start with.
And that really brings us to the core truth of it all, which is summed up perfectly right here. Bank interest is safe, but it is slow. Its main job is to protect your capital, not to generate fast income.
So let's just lay out the hard truths, plain and simple. First, there's inflation, the silent thief that eats away at your returns. Your money might be growing, but your actual purchasing power might not be. Second, like we've said, this income is almost always taxable, which cuts into your final earnings. And all of this leads to the single most important takeaway. This is a strategy for wealth preservation, keeping what you have safe. It's not a strategy for aggressive wealth creation.
So, after that dose of reality, what's the game plan? How do we take everything we've learned and actually put it to work? Well, let's build a simple, safe, and really powerful strategy that you can start using today.
Here it is, your 4-step action plan. Step 1. First things first, build your emergency fund and make sure it's sitting in a high-interest savings account. Step 2. When you have stable, predictable income goals in mind, your go-to tools are FDs or a monthly income scheme. Step 3. For that long-haul, tax-free growth, the PPF is your undisputed champion. And finally, Step 4. If you're working with a larger amount of money, you're going to want to combine FD laddering to stay liquid with a sweep-in account to make sure every single rupee is optimized.
And that really brings us to the one final question I want to leave you with. Think about it. You work incredibly hard for your money, right? So, is your money working just as hard for you?